Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Meet the Fresh. So this is our 16th episode, and if you were able to follow the past episodes, we have actually been focusing more on the different types of writing. Pero ngayon, we're shifting gears, and we're going to talk about financial literacy, financial protection, and ano ba yung options that we have right now when it comes to investing via fintech or via the digital platforms. So, my guest for tonight and who will be teaching us about all of the options that are open to us is Kristoffer Patron. He is currently the head of digital partnerships and fintech solutions at Sun Life Financial. Before this, actually, he was also with Seedbox Philippines. He was head of business development and he was also head of customer experience at ATR Asset Management. So marami siyang iba-ibang experience in the financial investment space. Tapos, also digital transformation. So he has conducted a lot of talks on financial literacy. Tapos yun nga, as I mentioned earlier, no, extensive yung experience niya when it comes to digital transformation. He's also currently involved right now in Sun Life with digital transformation strategies. So I'm looking forward to this conversation because I am sure that he will be able to not only teach us yung yung things that are options for us when it comes to investing, but also things that we should watch out for. Ano ba yung mga do's and don'ts? Ganyan. So, without any further delay, I welcome Ton to our talk for tonight. Good evening, Ton. Wait, ayan. I will unmute your mic. Sorry.
Yeah, okay na.
Okay, yes.
Evening. Nako, sorry, kakaligo ko lang. Magsusombrero lang ako para maayos yung buhok
Okay
ko.
lang yan.
Yeah, para mukha akong millennial sa show mo.
Ay,
Yan.
mukha talaga tayong
Okay.
millennial.
Yan. Hindi ko maayos.
Okay.
Hello, attorney. Kamusta?
Huwag mo akong tawaging attorney.
Okay. Ses
Kasi
na lang
very
ba?
casual.
Ganun?
Yes, of
Casual.
course.
Okay. Hi. Good evening
Hi, hello.
to our
Grabe,
viewers.
thank you for saying yes to my invitation.
Of course.
And natouch talaga ako, promise. So for all of those people who are watching, I think that this is a very important topic because alam mo yan, everything that happened, I think heightened the need for financial protection. Yung realization na yon.
Yes.
So kung nanonood kayo ngayon, I hope that you can share this with your family and friends because this is not something that's usually talked about. Which is sad actually kasi mas maganda sana yung napag-uusapan para mas marami sa atin yung nakakapaghanda. But anyway, so ang first question ko, Ton, may lockdown, may pandemic. Bakit ba kailangan pag-usapan natin ng investing sa panahon ngayon? Hindi ba pwedeng after na lang?
Well, actually, totoo yan. Maybe for a lot of us, ang huli nating iisipin is yung long term. No?
Yeah.
And it's natural kasi pag naka-crisis mode ka, survival muna yung iisipin mo. But survival also entails long-term thinking. Right?
Okay.
So ano yan there's this book, yung title is the tyranny of the urgent versus the important. So ito yung issue natin ngayon. We are confronted with what's urgent for all of us. And even at the start of this pandemic, yun nga yung sinasabi ko, a lot of people, when I talk to people trying to figure out how will they yung anak ko na tumatakbo sa likod.
Okay lang yan, masaya dito.
Tingnan mo yung ano niya, naka-green screen kasi. Sige. All right, so yeah, there's a brick. Hold on.
Naka-green kasi siya.
Hindi nag-work yung virtual background ko. So anyway, so we are hold on.
Hello.
Can I ask the two of you to please go out, please? Come on.
Okay lang yan.
So when we were when I was at the start of the pandemic, I was thinking, paano yung mga taong walang naipon, right? And at this point in time, if you're not prepared for an emergency, chances are wala ka talaga ngayon right? Especially
Oo.
doon sa mga nawalan ng trabaho. But
Mm-mm.
I guess if you're burdened by it now, it's the more important it is to talk about at this
Mm-mm.
point. No? Hindi naman
Mm-mm.
necessarily kailangan gawin mo na right?
Yeah,
But
oo.
the fact that you get education at this point on these things
Mm-mm.
and how
Mm-mm.
we can help each other be, or for example, a lot of for the companies to be able to um, help
Mm-mm.
people, especially
Mm-mm.
companies in our position, right?
Yeah.
To plan, no. So again, it goes back to what's important to you at this point.
Oo.
And then, paano natin siya mapupush doon sa long term naman. So, I admit,
Okay.
mahirap talaga siya pag-usapan ngayon.
Oo, oo, oo.
Pero mas maganda pa din pag-usapan na. Right?
Yes. Oo. So a little bit later, I'm going to ask you also about affordability kasi I guess isa yun dun sa mga tanong ng mga tao. Pero
Mm-hmm.
since fintech yung gusto ko pag-usapan din natin muna and ano ba yung mga options available. So yun yung tatanong ko sa'yo kasi 'di ba ang tawag nga dito sa situation natin ngayon is the new normal. So we are
Mm-hmm.
already shifting into more digital life. Actually, before pa naman na-predict na mag-shift slowly into digital yung mga buhay natin. Or not necessarily shifting, pero yung link between the real world and what's digital, mas magiging close, diba? But they said nga na the change that should have happened in 10 years, biglang naging
Yes.
actually a matter of weeks kasi
Mm-hmm.
parang biglang kinabukasan, wala nang pasok. And then, ayun, 'di ba? So, ngayon
Totoo
na
yan.
ganito yung situation,
Mm.
is there a way for us to look for and learn about investments even na hindi tayo lumalabas sa bahay natin? Kasi feeling ko worry pa yung mga tao, 'di ba, na okay, sige, backtrack lang.
Mm.
Kasi 'di ba dati pag sinabi mong magtatanong ka about investment, meron kang ka-meeting na financial advisor, ganyan. Eh kung
Mm.
natatakot akong lumabas, natatakot akong mag-attend ng mga seminars, paano ako maghahanap ng ideas on where to invest?
Okay. Actually, surprisingly,
Mm-mm.
not much has changed in terms of
Mm,
financial literacy
okay.
sa Philippines. So how we deliver these things. In fact, that's one of the reasons
Mm-mm.
why I shifted from sales to
Mm-mm.
digital. Kasi
Okay.
before, when we were doing all of these seminars, alala mo yun, yung
Mm-mm.
parang ano ka talaga, pupunta ka sa schools, pupunta ka sa colleges,
Yes.
pupunta ka sa offices, you
Mm-mm.
deliver this half-day session to 50, 100 people, maximum 300 in an auditorium filled with students or employees. But I realized na using YouTube, for example,
Mm-mm.
to Meet the Fresh, is
Mm-mm.
a good way to be able to help people understand the financial literacy or deliver financial literacy. So
Mm-mm.
a lot of people also, financial advisors, has shifted their delivery of this literature or
Mm-mm.
and how they are trying to educate people. Like for example, si Randall Tiongson,
Oo.
kung mapapanood to ni Kuya Randall, ano siya,
Mm.
nagsishift na siya sa YouTube. And
Mm-mm.
a lot of his followers are also doing it. Si Fritz at saka si Renzi,
Okay.
Elena,
Oo.
they're
Oo.
also now shifting to YouTube as a medium to teach people, and their followers has been growing. Even
Mm-mm.
Ramper,
Mm.
si Mr. Rex Mendoza has been
Mm-mm.
focused on delivering his message in a
Mm-mm.
more innovational platforms. Yun nga. So actually, di
Oo.
na nga innovation to, YouTube na to eh.
Oo,
Right?
oo, oo.
And you can learn from this video. So I guess right now, madami din talagang sumusulpot. No?
Oo.
Na ganitong platforms, na
Yeah.
ganitong mga facilities where you
Mm-mm.
can learn financial
Mm-mm.
literacy. It's again a matter of choosing who to let influence yourself. So who do you
Okay.
let who's the financial planner or the
Mm-mm.
professional na
Mm-mm.
papayagan mo ma-influence yung thinking mo. Kasi madami
Mm-mm.
talaga.
Mm.
And a lot
Okay.
and if you're not careful,
Oo.
meron pang potential for you to be
Oo.
yung misis ko nandun sa likod, oh. Ah, Sandali lang ha.
Sige lang.
Ayan,
No
ayan.
problem. Oh. So
Sobrang casual,
actually,
no?
hindi totoo as in. Okay nga na na-mention mo yung about being careful. Kasi I know a lot of people are aware of this already. Lalo na last year, talagang mainit na mainit sa mga balita. Yung nangyari dun sa online lending. Mukhang
Mhm.
dun talaga yung marami yung scam. So, I think, well, primarily, I think yung mga Pilipino, actually, dati din sa Sun Life, parang ano eh, meron ako na-attendan dati na seminar na minention din nila ng speaker doon na until now, medyo worry pa din yung mga tao na yung bang ang kausap mo sa investment, hindi mo siya nakikita. So, parang yung Filipinos, I guess as a culture, mas gusto talaga natin na mamimit natin, tapos makikita natin ng ilang beses
Mhm.
para makakausap. Masyado
Yeah.
tayong personal, di ba? Pero
Totoo yan.
ngayon, isama mo pa yung nangyari nga dun sa online lending scams, sa
Mm.
tingin mo ba meron, it's still there yung hindi the possibility that people will trust digital platforms and fintech para magbigay sila ng pera to invest?
Okay, that's a very good question. Actually,
Mm.
yan yung simula mo kanina eh, no? It took a
Ah,
pandemic to shift the thinking of people
mm.
about using
Okay.
digital tools, no? The
Mm.
narrative before this pandemic was generational change, no? Let's say, for example,
Mm.
maybe in your own household. Like
Mm.
ako, yung lola ko, hindi yan nagbabangko except yung sa pension niya sa land bank,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So we're forced siya magbangko. And then when it
Mm.
comes to my mom, yung nagbabangko, pero until before the pandemic, ayaw niya nagbabayad ng bills online. Gusto niya pipila siya
Okay.
sa bangko, pupunta siya sa bayad
Mm.
center, di ba?
Mm. Mm.
For my case, so technically that I'm the third generation in that story. Ako
Mm.
naman lahat halos online na. I pay
Mm.
my bills online. I never tried bayad center physically sa SM. When
Mm.
I started paying my bills, mostly are online talaga siya lahat, no?
Mm.
At most pumipila ako sa bangko, no?
Mm.
But then when I was able to set up my wallet, my bank,
Mm.
ano na siya, mas mabilis for me to do those transactions. So and then came the pandemic. Yung
Mm.
mom ko ngayon, ting nagpapabayad siya sa grocery
Mm.
nila, meron silang mini grocery store, GCash na lang daw. 'Di ba? So, nag-shift, no? So, again,
Mm.
the narrative before was it takes a generational change
Mm.
for adaptation of
Mm.
digital technology, of innovation. Ngayon, because of this, it became a necessity to adapt.
Oh.
Digital tools make transactions more cleaner, literally.
Mm.
Cleaner in the sense that walang physical transfer of cash. So,
Yes.
mas sanitized yung transaction, no?
Mm.
Sanitary, I
Mm.
should say. So, just imagine kung sa palengke, magagawa mo din yun. Right? So,
Yeah,
those are
oo.
the advantages and those are the things that we can take a look at. Now, going back to your comment on
Mm.
mga lending,
Mm.
yung mga and why Filipinos are trying to shift their thinking or why it's hard for them to shift, no? Kasi nga I think it's really the practice eh, right?
Mm.
Before, think about it. When Lazada first came here in the Philippines, ang mga transactions niyan 90% cash, COD.
Oo.
Ngayon,
Okay,
they've
oo.
shifted also.
Oo.
I would, if my memory serves me right, up to recently, parang nasa 70% na ng transactions nila digital na din. No, so,
Okay.
madaming, nag-shift talaga siya eh. And also,
Mm.
at the same time, I would understand na there are some transactions, specifically financial transactions, na
Mm.
will have more ceremonies than others. Like, take for
Okay.
example, ito na, magpa-plug na lang din ako ng konti. Si
Sure, go
Sun
ahead.
Life, si Sun
Mm.
Life launched the first ever digital insurance na straight through for Lazada members. So,
Meron akong ano niyan, ready ako
Life
diyan.
Armor, di ba? So, pag bumili ka ng Life
Yan ba
Armor,
'yung tinutukoy mo?
yes, yan. Ngayon, may bago pa kami, Viajero Protect, di ba? So,
Yes.
yung si Viajero Protect, we launched that and the Life Armor, the Family Armor, we
Mm.
launched that with the idea that for Lazada members, you can just click the product and then add to cart, tapos insured ka na. Right?
Mm.
You create these transactions and then eventually get insured after the activation of your policy, right?
Mm-mm.
So ano siya, this is something that we can see sa using social media. Kaya mag-shift na ako ng
Yeah.
upuan para
Sige, go ahead.
teka
Oo.
lang. Okay. Para
Okay.
ma-block ko yung ano ko, may lalabas ng pinto eh. Ayan.
Okay.
So etong mga to, etong mga products na to, the
Mm-mm.
idea was really to make it convenient for
Mm-mm.
Filipinos to purchase insurance online.
Mm-mm.
And but of course, this one is exclusive for Lazada members at the meantime.
Yeah,
Kasi
oo.
meron ding hurdle eh. The regulators are trying to catch up with the innovation as well.
Yes, oo
Right?
nga.
So
Yes,
inaayos din natin 'yan. And we
yes,
are we are
oo.
very thankful for what the Insurance Commission, the
Mm-mm.
Securities and Exchange Commission, and the BSP has been
Mm-mm.
doing for the industry, no,
Mm-mm.
supporting innovation as well. So
Yeah.
so these are just so now meron kang ganito, may digital ka, which
Mm-mm.
at the click of a button you get insured, but these insurers are starters eh. If you really
Mm-mm.
go down to the nitty gritty of financial planning,
Mm-mm.
a good financial planner will ask you for your financial situation. Yung nga, like ko sinasabi,
Okay.
personal finance is personal. Iba-iba yan
Okay. Oo.
per person, no? Right? So,
Mm-mm.
rightfully so na meron kang conversation dapat with professionals, no? But again,
Mm-mm.
for products like this, yung mga basic, Lazada,
Mm-mm. Oo.
okay na yan. The
Okay.
amount of ceremony
Mm-mm.
commensurates with the amount that you're paying for. So
Oo,
so
oo.
100 pesos, 60 pesos, di ba? 365 bucks, insured ka na. Para ka
Yeah.
lang bumili ng kape. Di ba?
Oo.
So,
I'll show people para makita
lang.
nila yung price, no? So,
Yeah,
ito kasi medyo mababa talaga yung presyo. Because these are, these are products that are really designed this way. I mean, hindi din kasi ganun kataas po yung coverage versus yung
yes.
talagang life insurance
Yes,
na
yes.
na yung full-fledged na product. So, baka ka lang
Exactly.
nagtataka kasi yung mga tao bakit sobra siyang
Mm.
mura. Depende din
Yes.
po kasi dun sa coverage na binibili ninyo.
Yes. Oh, these are also term insurance. Coverage nito 1
Okay.
year lang, no?
Oo.
So you have to also align this with your again, kung magsisimula ka pa lang, you're
Mm.
starting work, kakakuha mo lang ng trabaho, you're not sure if your company will provide you an insurance coverage, it's still always good to have this. Add-on lang naman to eh. So
Oo.
but one thing I also want to mention is after this, you have to get to a level of maturity in terms of your financial literacy, I should say, or the level of your understanding. So habang tumataas yung financial literacy, yung level mo, dapat nag-a-advance din yung mga financial products na available. Kasi nagiging comfortable ka na to purchase it. So yun
So
yung goal.
kung mag-financial planning ako, lagi bang kailangan na meron akong kakausaping financial advisor, or do you think this is something that I can do on my own? Kung kunyari, I will do research and then I will read stuff online, I will watch vlogs, etc. Is this something that I can learn on my own?
Yung start, yes. You can really look for content online na may mga basic na yan, no? Again, I mentioned a lot of good financial planners. I'll start with, again, si Fritz and Renzi, si Arandel Tiongson, Rex Mendoza. They're all online already. You can look at their content. There's a good content on a lot of the things that you want to learn about, no? Ang problem lang kasi dito sometimes, again, because they don't have the benefit of getting to know the client, medyo general yung mga ano nila, mga recommendations, no? It's and I would like to call it as a benchmark of your of finding out where you are, no? But again, different yeah, like for guys my age, for example, I'm 39, I have 3 kids, my wife also works, so yung situation namin iba from a situation ko iba from a single man, same age, na wala siya masyadong financial responsibilities. So, iba yung, even if we learn the same thing, yung application, ibang-iba talaga for both of us. So, right? Again, goes back to personalizing the approach. But again, on the benchmark side, definitely you can visit the content of the guys I've mentioned. I'm missing out a lot. Si Carl D is also excellent if you want to learn about real estate. Madami silang available online. But be careful kasi there will come a point when you need to personalize already. And that's why now you talk to an advisor. So, having said that, plug ko na lang din sa website ni Sun Life. Meron kaming talk to an advisor doon na bottom. Free naman yun eh. Yun yung weird so a lot of Filipinos, they don't want to. Kasi meron din sila mga expectations or mga na-set sa isip nila na pag kinausap yan, bibentahan lang ako ng insurance yan. Or baka hindi pa ako ready. And most of the ito pa yung mas mga yung meron silang mga thinking na ay pag nag-financial planning ako, bawal na ako magkape. Hindi na ako makakapag-enjoy. Actually, baliktad. The reason why you're doing it is to precisely enjoy the things you want to enjoy. Right? So ganun yung context na I wish I pray that people will really try to understand and seek knowledge about financial planning as well.
So you were mentioning na nga the need to personalize financial advice. Ayan. But does it need to happen in person? So yung tanong ko is, now are you seeing that insurance companies, for instance, are already shifting to online or digital when these financial advisor to client meetings happen?
Yes, actually, ang laki ng shift because at the start of the pandemic, we were able to, or the insurance commission allowed advisors to do video call na. Right? Isipin mo, for the longest time, merong rules around the selling of insurance which requires an advisor to physically meet with you. Right? Again, these are not bad rules. These are rules that are meant to verify that you are the actual real person and that you're in good health because it will help in the underwriting process. So underwriting is really just finding out yung risk ng insurance company, di ba? Na sa pagbigay ng insurance this a certain person na to. So the way to do that before was really physical verification. Ngayon, online pwede na. Pinayagan na yan ng Insurance Commission. What I'm dreaming of is the day when we use more digital tools, data. I know allergic ka sa data privacy, pero data, artificial intelligence to do the actual underwriting. In fact, there are these tools, these metrics, yung credit scoring, risk scoring, they are actually more accurate in predicting mortality than physical verification. Di ba? Come to think of it, like we can meet physically in a coffee shop, I'll sell you an insurance, and I can say that, she looks healthy, mukhang nag-workout naman, fit naman yung itsura, but may underlying health conditions na if analytics were used, I'm sure mas maperpredict siya. Right? So, alam mo yun?
I guess ipapaliwanag ko lang sa mga tao, no? So, katulad ng sinabi ni Ton kasi kanina, yung underwriting kasi is a way for the insurance company to take a look at you at ano ba yung risk. Kasi ang binabayaran po kasi natin sa premium is yung pag-protect sa atin ng insurance against yung mga risk na ayaw naman nating mangyari, pero kasi kung in case mangyari, at least meron tayong something that will tide us through kung ano man yun, di ba? So it's either life insurance, which will now either go to us, kung kunyari nawalan ka ng trabaho because of your disability, or kung hindi naman maganda ang naging resulta sa'yo at nag-say goodbye ka na sa earth na to, at least yung family mo may matitira sa kanila. So, ganun po yung purpose. Now, yung sinasabi niya about underwriting, I agree na actually, kasi yung risk, ina-assess ka, pero if you really think about it, hula lang for the most part, dahil hindi ka naman nila ganun kakilala. I mean, syempre may mga standards yan, pero kung hindi kasi naman talaga nila ikaw ganun kakilala, hindi naman nila accurately ma-assess yung risk. So, kung may mga times, kung mas accurate yun, pwede kasing mas mura yung babayaran mong premium. Diba? So,
Agree.
so
Totoo.
kung may way tayo to make that assessment in a way that also protects the data and the privacy of people, I think, and that will ensure accuracy, I think it will also be beneficial to the clients kasi mas accurate yung magiging assessment sa kanila, so yung premium na papabayaran sa kanila mas correct dun sa situation nila in life, parang ganun.
Pero i-clarify ko lang yung sinabi ng attorney, baka magalit sa atin si Miss Sachi, no? Hindi naman siya hula. It's more of, it's a traditional way of computing, right? The math is there, the actuarial is there, the science is there. Kaya lang it lacks, I think, it really lacks it's missing out the potential of data.
Oo. Oh my gosh, patayin ako ni Miss Sachi. Sorry, ang ibig ko lang sabihin nun, may standard naman.
Na-imagine mo na ba naisipin niya, sabihin niya, hindi tayo nahuhula, hindi ganon. So, more of
baka hindi na ako makabalik sa building.
More of the actuarial methodology, I think lang, untapped yung data as the best way to predict mortality. Right? And pricing more so, right? So yun. Thank you for highlighting that kasi when you publish this video and if you're listening to this later on, maybe a month from now, etong mga sinishare ko naman dito timeless again, this is benchmark. We're not trying to come up with a financial plan for the person who will read it, but really point them to the right direction on what to do, right?
So, ayun pala, before anything, I think kailangan ko ding i-disclose, I actually used to work for Sun Life. I was legal counsel there for about 4 years. Ayan. So, I remember when I was there, ang pinakamalaking issue dati sa digital transformation ay yung KYC, which is yung know your customer. Kasi, ang gusto kasi sana talaga natin is mas maraming tao yung makaka-reach, yung ma-reach natin for our products. Kaya lang, base ho kasi sa batas, may mga requirement po talaga yan ng yung KYC, ang tawag po dyan is know your customer, kasi paano nila i-verify na yung tao, sinasabi niya na siya yun, siya talaga yun. So now, that we are in the new normal and people are transacting online, how have you solved yung issue ng KYC?
Well, ngayon, surprisingly, for our mutual funds, you can now buy up to a certain amount, buy a mutual fund straight through using video and selfie, no, and taking a picture and then emailing it, no. Meron na yan. We have those things in place. Yun nga, again, medyo complicated lang talaga pagdating sa insurance kasi it's only recently that the Insurance Commission allowed us to do the verification na tawag nga namin doon non-face-to-face because non-physical. Pero kailangan pa din may video call dyan. Again, it's really being able to catch up with the innovation and the tools available. In fact, as you mentioned, yung KYC kasi it's an AMLA compliance, di ba? Anti-Money Laundering Act. Di ba? So compliance siya doon. But also the ALMC came out with yung mga AMLA guidelines na nag-a-allow ng a more simplified version depending on transactions kasi risk-based na. No, kasi the challenge for AMLA compliance is wala tayong tools na nagagamit that will scale how we do the KYC or know your customer. Ayun palang lumalabas itong mga to. Maybe as early as 4 or 5 years ago, nag-start na sila magsulputan. But I would also like to, for the benefit of those who will watch this, hindi siya unique sa Philippines. If you go to Singapore, if you go to other countries, they have the same AMLA standards. So these are financial transactions. It's not like you'll buy an item in Lazada, you get the physical goods. So long-term yung relationship, mas madaming considerations ang regulator. So number one na dyan yung consumer protection, and also yun nga yung terrorist financing and anti-money laundering, no? And we are, as an institution, I'm really proud of what Sun Life has done to comply with all of these things. But also at the same time, again, may conflict naman yan dun sa pagdating sa user experience. Right? Kasi hirap na nga yung customer maintindihan, by the time na mabentahan mo siya, you have to sign up all with or sign or fill up all of these questionnaires and forms na pagkahaba-haba, no? So we're trying to fix those things as well. Lalo na ikaw, I'm sure you would understand when I say na sometimes yung compliance sa AMLA will also require collection of data na hindi mo kailangan eh. Right? And it becomes a burden to the company to keep that data as well. But again, because of the lack of tools that we can use, we just have to comply doon sa rigid process na yon. And then as innovation comes, that we adapt and we'll see what we can do also.
So I've seen can I mention? Okay lang naman siguro mag-mention. Kasi yung
show
sa
mo naman to eh. Kahit
show mo to, diba? Produced all by myself. Anyway, that's why it looks like this. Anyway, so yung sa GCash kasi I've seen na pwede ka nang mag-invest through the app. Is there a way na for people to invest naman via yung Sun Life Mutual Funds? I know meron sila sa COL, di ba? Parang yung ang Call Financial kasi, ano po to, it's a website and it's also a platform where people can invest, and meron kasi silang equities which would be the shares of stock. Pero meron din part nung website nila na may mutual funds at nakasama dun yung mga Sun Life Mutual Funds na products. But that's all I know na available yung mutual funds either online or via digital. Is there another way na makapag-invest ako?
Well, specifically, you mentioned Call Financial. That's very close to my heart kasi kami nagtrabaho niyan to have that mutual fund supermarket available, no? So this Call Financial. Ngayon, si First Metro is also doing that. So First Metro also has it. You can go to directly if you need Sun Life Mutual Funds. You can go to Sun Life also in the website. Sunlifefunds.com will lead you to the fund. So, ang maganda pa sa ginawa natin sa Sun Life kasi meron kang guided na journey where you answer this, and then we'll recommend the mutual fund for you. But of course, it's up to you what to buy. There's also Seedbox. Seedbox is yung pinanggalingan ko naman na ganun din, UITF and mutual funds. So madami naman talagang options. Again, these tools are available already, and it's really up to, in fact, si Seedbox is onboarding all of the mutual funds. No?
Okay, that's interesting.
Hindi lang yan ATR. They are an open architecture. So we hopefully matapos yung pag-onboard nila, no? And I think that's the goal. That's always been the goal since day one. And it's taking longer than expected, but I think they're getting there as well.
So I guess what I also would like to highlight to our viewers is that ang benefit din kasi nung kung sa platform is that yung KYC requirements, gagawin mo siya sa platform, hindi na yung paisa-isa, di ba? Na parang kung iba-ibang companies na mutual funds yung pag-i-investan mo, kunyari kung Sun Life, and then, ano pa ba? O mag-UITF ka naman, kunyari, ng BPI, magsasubmit ka ng ID mo, ng whatever mo dun sa Sun Life, tapos magsasubmit ka din ng whatever identification mo dun sa BPI. So, dalawa yung sets of requirements. Whereas, if you go to a single platform, parang you can choose na lang what funds you want to invest in. Doon ka na lang sa platform magsasubmit ng IDs, di ba? Tama ba yung intindi ko? Parang ganun siya. So, in that way, mas madali din siya.
Yes.
Kasi
At saka yun, I've always been a fan of yung one-stop shop. Kaya mas gusto ko platforms, right? Yung isa-isa lang, sa isang app sa phone mo, nakakapagbayad ka ng bills mo, nag-check mo yung account mo, nakakapag-invest ka, nakakabili ka ng insurance. Although wala pang ganun talaga. So you still have to do it. So BPI will have it their own, Union Bank will have their own, RCBC has their own, Sun Life will have their own. No? So kami, iba-iba siya. Iba-iba pa din yung app. I dream of a day na sana may isa na pag-click ko, nandun lahat nakalista. Right?
Oo.
Hintayin ko na lang.
I see that dun sa platforms for other di ba? For other countries. Na parang you can actually compare pa. Maganda din kasi yun, di ba? That people can compare kung ano ba yung product na fit sa kanila for the price that they are able to pay.
Yeah.
So yun yung maganda din sana na meron tayo. But challenge nga kasi talaga.
Kasi dito wala pa din talagang, I think for majority of Filipinos, especially the bigger market segment that we're trying to tap, no one really wakes up in the morning and say na, teka lang, bibili nga ako ng mutual fund today. Or kailangan ko yata insurance, no? Hindi ganun We don't have that thinking yet. For more developed countries, nandiyan na yan. In fact, one thing na naka-ingrain sa pop culture nila, if you've watched Paddington, yung bear, pag napanood mo yung movie na yun, when Paddington first went to the house na kung siya napunta, the guy who owns the house called his broker asking for additional insurance. Alam mo yun, yung kagad na, so pop culture na yan, it's a movie, mainstream movie na ganun yung thinking, no? But that's in the UK. In the Philippines, walang ganun right? Dito, kung hindi pa siguro magkakaroon ng compulsory third-party insurance, ang third-party liability insurance sa mga kotse, hindi kukuha yung mga tao
dyan. Hindi kukuha.
Diba? Kaya compulsory. Dito sa atin, matagal pa yun So, again, which goes back to that, that narrative that depending on the amount of ceremonies required to purchase the product and also how much the product is, then I think the market is willing to go through certain actionable items to get there. Like, yun nga, minsan, online lang, one click, nandyan na, 100 pesos, covered na ako. Versus, etong product, kailangan ko to for the education of my kids, at kailangan ko to for my retirement, magkano ba yung kailangan ko? So, kailangan kausapin na nila yung financial planner nila.
Okay, oo. So you mentioned issue yan ng the ceremonies, etc. That actually also cost money for the companies, di ba?
True.
So, how is digital? How is online transforming these processes para makakontribute naman siya dun sa less cost to the companies and more affordable products to the customers?
I think, ito, ako lang naman to. Again, by the way, nakalimutan, dapat sa simula pa lang ng show mo, sinabi ko to, I'm not representing Sun Life, di ba? Dito sa show mo. I'm just representing myself as a consumer myself, no? But it's also parang misconception that digital is cheap, right? It's also expensive. The tools that we're building, the innovation that we want to achieve requires capital expenditure, right? But what it's trying to do really is to help scale the business. Now, let's say, for example, again, this is my perspective, but say, for example, Sun Life. If or any insurance company na lang, no? If the insurance company, if you ask an agent or an advisor of an insurance company, how many clients do you have? Some of them will answer maybe about 200, 300, 400 in the lifetime, no? If you ask them how many of your clients has an enforced policy up to today, baka konti lang yung makasagot niyan, right? So point of the matter is, if you ask them, can you double the number of customers that you have? Now, an advisor can only physically be present for a good number of hours a day, right? If you're efficient actually in planning, and I being in sales before in digital, before I went to digital, na-experience ko yung mga ganyang calls Na-experience ko yung meeting clients one-on-one, having to present, And at most, kung maganda yung pagplan mo nung biyahe mo for the day, in one area, you can meet at most 5 people in one day. Diba? So, yung maximum, and assuming lahat yon ma-close mo, 5 a day. Diba? So, kung 5 days a week yan, 25, tapos 52 weeks in a year, di ba? So, X amount yung magagawa mo. Lahat yun, mini-maintain mo siya over time. Lahat yung kliyente mo eh. Right? So, if you want to double that, you can't split yourself in half and then mag-call ka ng times 2 for the day. Now, what digital is doing is being able to scale the advisor's business by using these tools. Right? So, ayun, pag nagsalita ako sa isang show, or I do a financial literacy seminar, yung content na yon, I can replicate it in my channel, publish it, tapos I can point my clients there. So first, that's instant credibility. Because if what you're saying makes sense, you gain credibility. So mas madaming lalapit sa'yo. No? And then from there, you can also schedule phone calls na. Right? So, yun yung way for you to get 10 clients. Kasi hindi ka nalalabas eh. You can schedule one call after another. So kung ang financial planning session mo will last for an hour, and then you're willing to work from 8 to 5 every day, na walang in between the breaks, very minimal breaks lang, you'll probably be able to talk to 8, 10 people in one day. And that's digital. No, so the tools that are available allows the advisor to scale how they do business also. The CRM software, the sales tools, the electronic POS that they're using, all of this. Now, even from the first time they engage up to the time they actually close the sale, if that can be done straight through digitally, mas madali, right? Now, also, in terms of leads generation, it will also be useful for an advisor to have a sort of like a way to scale how they generate leads. And how do they do that? Online pa din, right? So doon nanggagaling yung scaling and yung innovation and how digital tools can help in the business. But also over time, as you scale, that's when you experience a lower cost of underwriting, lower expenses in terms of acquisition of customers. No, it will come over time, but there's still an expense that you have to pay upfront for either for the new technology, the update of your existing platforms. No, meron pa rin yan. But again, if you do it right, I think you'll be able to scale the business enough if in 5-10 years nabawi mo yung cost and then stop, right?
Yeah. Actually, it's good that you pointed out nga na yung you can scale yung as an advisor, you can scale your effort and yourself through digital. Kasi conversely, sa perspective ng isang client, pwede din siyang maging beneficial eh. Kasi yun din, instead of going to places and meeting so many financial advisors, you can actually also schedule several financial advisors para more complete yung view mo. Kasi katulad yung sinabi ni Ton kanina, hindi naman din bawal magtanong. Usually naman libre yan. Libre naman actually talaga yan. Hindi din ho kayo obligadong bumili. Pag nagtanong kayo, ay feeling ko kasi yun yung question ng mga tao eh. Kaya sila natatakot magtanong na. And I think that hurdle is bigger when it's person to person. Kasi I made this person go through all the effort of coming to my office to meet me. Parang medyo nakakahiya na hindi ka bibili after. But then as a client, since hindi naman sa low investment, pero kumbaga yung effort ninyong dalawa, hindi ganun kalaki versus person to person. So, yun. Feeling ko mas less yung nahihiya ka na
ang tawag dyan,
ang dami mong tanong tapos wala kang
ano yan eh, yan yung social exchange, no? There's a behavioral science kasi ang course ko eh. So ang tawag dyan, social exchange theory, wherein nahihiya ka for the favor na ginawa ng isang tao or burden na bigay mo sa isang tao. There's this there's this point na teka lang, para maging even kami, kailangan mabigyan ko siya ng favor din, right? And it differs from one person to another. Like for example, agent ka, tapos nag-call ka sa akin, tapos pinakapi mo ako. Kahit hindi ako bumili sa'yo, pero kung hinatid naman kita dun sa bahay mo, baka for me quits na tayo eh, hindi na ako obligado. But again, tama yung point mo eh. A lot of Filipinos, ganito yung mindset nila na, ay, kakaya, ayoko munang istorbohin to kasi baka pag nagtanong ako, bibentahan na ako niya. Tapos yung iba naman, nag-text ka na, wala pa din, di ba? Kasi we have very good advisors who will really do, oh, you wanna do this, you wanna do that, no? And ito pa, special, Facebook is really an excellent tool for CRM, right? So, halimbawa, yung kliyente mo, nakita mo, nag-first birthday yung anak. O, pwede mo nang tawagan yan o magdagdag ka ng investment mo. Kasi, nag-first birthday yan, malapit na yung mag-college, wala ka pang educational plan, right? So, may mga ganun ng tools na they're free naman, right? You just have to be creative in doing this.
So, I think a lot of people are curious ngayon. So, kung gusto ko talagang mag-invest via online platforms, ngayon, ano ba yung mga do's and don'ts? So, kunyari, pag maghahanap ako ng produkto and then hanggang sa pagpili ko ng produkto, ano yung do's and don'ts when transacting via digital platforms na ang topic natin or ang gusto nating produktong bilhin ay investment?
Okay. Ito regardless of digital or kung wala pa, yung even 10 years ago, I would stick to the same advice actually. It's just that ngayon, kailangan mas maingat ka pa. Dahil nga, sobrang bilis na sobrang dali na. First advice, nothing is for free. So if something is too good to be true, it probably is. So it goes back to the lack of education Kasi a lot of people sasabihin nila, okay for example, Bitcoin, di ba? Nauso yung Bitcoin. So ginamit siyang pang scam, no? So bili ka sa akin ng X amount, yung 100,000 mo every month, makakakuha ka ng 13%, right? Kung meron kang basic fundamentals lang ng knowledge, ng financial literacy, alam mo na that's impossible. Right? Kasi alam mo ang guaranteed return ng government institution and ng mga commercial institutions is only X amount per year, per year, hindi monthly. So it goes back to yun. So the most practical tip that I can share, yun nga, yung first one is pag masyadong malaki yung return, iwasan mo na yan. Kasi madaling masilaw 'di ba? Lalo na kung nasa top ka, yung tawag na quote-unquote pyramiding. Kung nasa top ka, malamang mababawi mo yung investment mo But it will collapse under di ba? So, kung willing kang mag-risk sa ganon, bahala ka. But ako, yun nga, something's too good to be true, it probably is. So, iwasan mo yun. So, next one is, stick to the ones with a better, a bigger name, no? And an institution that fits your profile as well. No, not because it's a mutual fund. It's the same for everyone. Even if it's the same bond fund. The bond fund of ALFM, Sun Life, ATR are yung ring light mo ina-on. so iba-iba yung iba-iba pa din yan, right? And you can check with the Securities and Exchange Commission kung ano yung mga registered na investments talaga. So, also, not because they're registered, they are licensed to issue securities. Diba? Dalawa yan Kaya eto, silaw yung mga tao na registered sa SEC. Hello? For, di ba, 5,000 pesos, kaya ko mag-register ng kumpanya But am I licensed to sell securities? Probably not. Right? So, yan yun. So, check mo hindi enough yung registry ng SEC. Hindi yung registration sa SEC is just the first part. For you to solicit investments, you need to have a securities license. For you to solicit mutual funds, you have to have the ICA license also, the investment company license. So, tatlong lisensya yan, no? Dapat yun yung i-consider ng mga tao, no? So those are the two tips. And lastly, I guess is really go back to asking the right questions. No, if you are buying an investment, try to ask the simple question: how will this investment pay for my returns? Right. So, taking aside mutual funds, taking aside UITF, yung actual business investment, ano yung binibenta niyang service or product na pag kumita, ibabalik niya sa akin yung return na pinapangako niya. Pwede ba yun? Kasi sa totoo lang, may mga private companies na, eto, for example, about 10 years ago, yung Victory Liner, they were issuing mga private na, technically utang yun no? Pero, magbibigay ka sa akin ng 1 million, bibigyan kita ng check na 8,000 pesos a month.
Okay.
'di ba? Tapos at the end of the year, bibigay ko sa yung ano mo, yung you can roll it over or babalik ko sa
Mm.
yung
1
principal
million.
mo, yung 1
Okay.
million. That's acceptable kasi 8,000 lang
Mm.
yun eh. That's slightly
Oo,
higher
oo.
than what you will get sa bank,
Yes,
no? And yun lang yung margins ni Victory.
oo.
Victory Liner, 'di ba? So,
Oo.
yun yung ano, I guess yun nga. So the third one is if you're buying into a business, try to find out also how the business will make money so that it can return to you your investment, right?
Mm.
Parang stocks din naman yan eh. It's just that madaming ibang business venture. So, para maiwasan mo yung mga scam, para maiwasan mo yung mga na people taking advantage of you, yun, wag kang masisilaw dun sa mga magagandang offer, 'di ba?
Yes, oo.
And then go with the more known players in the market if gusto mo yung formal investment. And then lastly, yun nga, ano ka? Find out how it will earn, how the business will give you back your money. Hindi basta if the person can explain in detail kung paano sila kumikita at kailangan mong mag-recruit to earn money, iwasan mo na kagad yun.
Okay, oo. Oo, kasi 'di ba, dapat 'pag nag-invest ka, relationship mo 'yun at saka nung
Dun sa
company na
company.
pinag-iinvestan mo. Hindi ka dapat obligahin ni kumpanya na kumuha pa ng iba. And actually,
Yeah.
ang problema nga din dun sa multi-level na 'yan, mga 'yan, unfortunately, ang talagang mako-convince natin ay family and friends. So,
Yes.
hindi lang
Tapos,
natin
yung
ini-endanger yung
paper
sarili
din.
natin, sinasali natin yung family and friends natin. And then, pag pumalpak siya, pwedeng hindi na natin sila family and friends.
Hindi na kayo
Kasi
magkikita pag New
ayaw na nila
Year
sa
at
atin.
Christmas. Wala na. May utang ka pa, di ba?
Oo, di ba? Yun. So, thank you for this very interesting conversation at ang dami nating napag-usapan when it comes to digital investing. Now, yes, you earlier said na you don't speak for Sun Life, but you actually also mentioned na meron products in Sun Life that are available online. So just in case, and
Yes.
I'm sure people are curious kasi 'di ba kung wala ka pang experience and you need somewhere to start, yun nga, as alam ko na, nahihiya na tayo. So kung gusto lang ninyong i-check out for yourself what's available, I'll ask Ton na lang to explain saan sila pwedeng magtingin, ano yung mga available na product.
All right. Sige. So for Lazada members, you can check out the Sun Life flagship store in Lazada. You can check the products available there. We have ang price range namin is from 60 pesos, which is the PA Armor. Etong naka-highlight ngayon is so yung personal accident
I'll
armor.
go to ano muna, sorry.
Yes, Air Protect muna.
Yeah.
This is our latest product. This is the most we call it the most inclusive PA product in the market. Inclusive kasi it covers a lot of the risks na wala sa ibang personal accident products. Like for example,
so ano siguro ano ba ibig sabihin pag sinabi mong accident insurance coverage? Baka lang hindi naiintindihan ng mga tao.
So ang personal accident insurance provides insurance coverage if maaksidente ka. If the claim is going to be due to accident, no? So yung Air Protect, as I mentioned, is one of the most inclusive products in the market, which covers accident due to your daily commute, whether nasa bus ka, nagji-jeep ka, nagbabike ka, nagmomotor ka, nasa Grab ka, covered ka dyan. That's why it's inclusive. Because there's a more affordable variant of this PA, this personal accident product. We call it the personal accident armor, na hindi nagko-cover ng mga hindi yan nagko-cover ng mga ng motorcycle riding, mga gano'n. Hindi siya covered siya. So mas ano siya, mas kaya mas of course mas affordable din siya, 60 pesos. Right? And then the next one is the Life Armor. This is the most popular product in our Lazada for our Lazada members because for 100 pesos they can get coverage for life coverage, no? So ano to, meron lang siyang yung tinatawag nila, I don't know kung naalala mo, nasa Sun Life yung lean, no? Yung 60-day lean where you cannot if the claim is due to illnesses, is that due to illness within the first 60 days, hindi ka pa covered nun.
Yes,
no? Kasi iniiwasan natin dito yung yung anti-selection. Yung alam mo may sakit ka kaya ka bibili. So iniiwasan natin yun eh. So the way we do that is meron tayong period lang na accident lang yung coverage mo. Now after the 60 days, covered ka na nung life armor, no? For any
Okay.
death due to illness. No,
Oo.
for 100 pesos, the coverage is 25,000 pesos for the year. That's the
Actually,
life
alam mo,
armor.
ito yung naisip ko na, just for people watching, no, kung kunyari meron si Yaya, or if you have a driver, or if you have a
Oo.
small business, and you have, di ba yung mga small, medium, actually hindi, yung mga micro, or small
Mm.
enterprises, yung backyard na business kayo, syempre,
Mm.
ano yun you also wanna be able to help these people that you employ, even if maliit lang yung business mo, you can actually help provide protection for them by considering ito, yung mga ganitong products.
Yes. Totoo. So what you can do if you're a small business owner or meron kang gustong pamigay sa yaya mo, just encourage them to open a Lazada account.
Oo.
Para makabili
Kasi
sila doon.
kailangan yung
Member ka ng Lazada
insured siya yung bibili, di ba? I
Yes.
actually read through this If you're
Oo.
going to buy from here, you cannot buy this product for somebody else. It should be the person insured who will actually buy for themselves. So parang pwede namang you can fund na lang. Kunyari, kung si
Bigay mo
Yaya.
na lang. Bigay mo na lang
Oo.
sa yaya.
Bigay
Gcash na lang
sa
yan, di ba?
Oo.
Di
Kasi
ba?
di
Pay
ba,
Maya.
kasi these people who work for us, kung may mangyari sa kanila, tayo naman din talaga yung
Ultimately, ikaw din.
tutulong So at least kung
Oo.
meron silang ganito, then it's also something
Mabawas
na,
yung burden.
di ba? Oo.
Yeah, agree.
Yun.
Yeah. And I
Ayan, tapos
doubt
ito
ngayon,
pa.
yung mga maids naman, tsaka drivers, may Lazada na yan, I think.
Oo. Oo nga.
Dagdagan mo na
Actually,
lang, di ba?
may
Dagdagan mo na
friend
lang.
nga ako na na-excite pag may Lazada, pero minsan hindi niya delivery. Minsan delivery
Di
ng
ba?
iba.
Yan, minsan
Oo.
nagbababa ako, tapos kukunin ko
Oo.
yung nag-doorbell, pag tingin ko, ay, hindi,
Oo.
si Kayaya pala to, di ba? So, eto naman,
Kaya,
actually, this is the family armor is also a personal accident insurance na merong 4 variances. Ito nga, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one is coverage for you and your children. Yung family armor 2 is for your spouse and your children. Ikaw, lagi kang kasama. Lagi kang kasama.
Oo, okay.
So, spouse and children. Yung number 3 is you and your parents. And family armor 4 is your parents, your children, and yourself. So, yun yung kino-cover naman nito. Again, these are not meant to solve your coverage. This is very minimal, but it gets you started, no?
Yeah.
Ang hope natin dito is over time you get to you start your journey, you mature to in your journey to financial freedom.
Yeah.
Which makes you want to ask na, teka lang, kailangan ko na ng additional coverage. Baka kailangan ko na kumausap ng advisor.
Yes.
Or baka pwedeng bumili na ako ng mas mataas na coverage from, diba? So, it gets you to that level. But, again, it doesn't require so much naman in terms of things to do to get coverage.
Yeah.
In fact, we are also reminding the Lazada members who bought this na over time, pag malapit na mag-expire yung 12 months nila na coverage, nevermind namin sila na bumili na sila ulit ng bago.
Oo.
So, pwede naman na ito i-renew, technically.
Okay. Oo. Tapos parang every year, bibili ka na lang.
Bibili ka na lang.
And
may advice naman, may advisory naman kami dyan.
And 200 pesos or yung kaninang 60 pesos, isang kape lang yun.
Diba? May maximum lang to, attorney. Kalimutan ko sabihin. May maximum coverage kasi to. So, hindi nga pwedeng ito lang talaga. No?
Yep.
So, pa isa maganda. If you're 200 pesos yung 200 pesos na yung coverage mo, kailangan mo more than 100,000. Hindi ka na. Magbumili ka na ng talagang insurance.
Okay. And so these are the same. So these are the products that are available. So dahil Lazada ito, you're not going to be asked to submit the usual insurance requirements, di ba? Kasi yung mahabang form.
Group insurance to. When we do our underwriting, we did our underwriting for the group. Right? So we took that into account into the pricing of the product as well. So again, mas convenient siya, but I think it's also limiting. It's just really to start. That's very important. Now, once you get used to having an insurance, buying it, it's time to move to the next level where, kailangan ko ng additional coverage, bibili na ako.
So, kung kunyaring kailangan ko ng additional coverage from Sun Life, where should I go?
Okay, so if you have, ano naman, if you think na you need more coverage than what we offer in Lazada, you can go to our website, sunlife.com/ph, and you can choose the products there. And we have a button at the right side, nakalagay doon, talk to an advisor. Kasi at the time na, kung kailangan mo na talaga yung product, and naiisip mo na siya, I think you have that, enough na siya for you to get in touch with the advisor talaga.
Okay.
Kumbaga pwede na. Kumausap ka ng advisor. But
Yes.
also you can play around with our calculators. If you can, we will go to the Sun Life website. Madaming available na calculators na pwedeng gamitin yung mga customers eh. You have the Money for Life calculator. Madami siyang mga tools that will allow you to at least get a sense of how much you need, for example, for your insurance, how much you need to for your investment, what's your investment goal. So pwede din natin yung pwede mo din siyang tingnan, di ba?
Okay. Thanks. And on that note, I would like to thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. And so, yun, for everyone who's watching, this video will live forever in YouTube and Facebook while those companies are existing. So feel free to share with your family and friends. And if you have questions, just go to the Sun Life website. Or any other, yung mga mention ni Ton kanina ng mga names, you can also check out their content online, whether, kasi these people are actually also blogging, diba? Aside from yung YouTube content nila. So, you can search for these people para lang magkaroon kayo ng intro into what financial products are. Ayan. So, marami and varying yung cost. So, depende dun sa kailangan mo, depende dun sa kaya mong bayaran.
Yes.
Everything's there. Ayan.
Yeah, So, sana invite mo ako next time ulit.
Sige, I will. Hanap tayo ulit ng ibang topic. Actually, gusto ko ng mutual funds pa kasi feeling ko konti lang nakakaintindi ng mutual funds.
Why not? Let me know. Kaya-kaya.
Yeah. Ikaw pa sabi ko sa stock knowledge mo.
Thank you.
Thank you. And to everyone who watched, thank you and good evening. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay.